hope we see Viper as well. They will not grant your wish, but we will see that double duelist. This is something that we do see, right? It's not weird. We see it. Yeah.
And I personally really like it. So what did I tell you that Kayak has to play on Haven?
Yoru.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just like the Yoru. I think he is great, and I hope that this gives him confidence.
And does this, do you like this fly into the breach comp?
I think it's fine. On attack, you're going to see a lot of Yoru walking out A and baiting the breach stun. They're going to do a lot of things to bait the util out and then playing together and looking for kills.
I do like when they played against Paper X, you know, if you can't beat them, maybe try and join them a little bit and go W gaming. What about the jobs of Giant X here? How do they just make this a 2-0, make it easy for themselves?
I think that they have to be careful. I think that it's more the balls on Fnatic side, because I feel like, for example, on Haven, maybe being too passive is something that wasn't working for them. And I think that if they commit the same sin here, it will go in the same fate. I think that Giant X are going to be looking out probably for the plays of Kayak and Alpha. They have to be very, very mindful of mid, because both of these teams really like taking charge in that part of the map.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is something that could be a trap. It could be something that Fnatic have been preparing.
It's something that they have to practice.
Yeah,
that is
you
definitely,
never know. You never know. And do we have faith in the 2-0? Do we have faith? I know.
I want the 2-0. I want the both Spanish teams to win today. I am biased.
I always think Fnatic is the best team in the world, but I think that Giants, because of how they're playing individually, they can definitely get a 2-0.
You'll be happy for your boy Grubby.
Of course, I love Grubby.
Yeah, you'll be happy for your boy Grubby, and Giant X, they have a real chance here to close this out 2-0. And if they do, they don't just eliminate Fnatic here at playoffs. They are one step closer, Hazard and Cairo, to champs.
That they are. A map that we haven't seen from Fnatic yet, but the last time they showed that they were able to win it 13-1 against Team Heretics. That's some showing. It's the exact same composition of agents. Can Giant X go and win it out now?
Well, that's going to be the question. They have a positive record for it this stage. We saw them take the loss to Liquid, but the question is, has that shaken them? Or do the foundations continue to hold place? It's a lot of what I was talking about before. Those agents, those roles have been that much more nailed on, fine-tuned from GX from the start. You're going to be expecting to see a lot of set pieces from them in the way that they play both defense and attack. That's where they'll start. And for me, more than anything else, it comes down to this pistol round, because we know that this is an area that they massively struggle in. It could already put a massive weight off their back.
Very good. Alpha, the duelist towards A, Kayak, the duelist on B side, but it's neither of the extremities that GX start. Through mid that they go. Ara caught in a trap, and that being said, Fnatic well aware of this. Postal though jumps up and gives himself away, as does Chronicle. And well, Alpha's reaction is to try and push forward, try and grab the weak arm of the push, but instead, no, it will go GX's way.
Yeah, GX win the arm wrestle. They outmuscle Fnatic on the push to A, and now setting up in post. There is plenty of space. It's back in short, both players Fnatic.
Kayak up first, the player dubbed the Prince of Pistol, and well, he was going to have to show his royalty here if there's going to be anything to go Fnatic's way, but instead, no. Pistol round starts with Giants.
And this is the sort of start that they needed if this is to be a 2-0, because the attack side went royally wrong for them in that Liquid game. Streak of rounds which spanned for the majority of the half. They were on the receiving end, just couldn't find liftoff. And looking at the Fnatic side, yeah, it's different to what we've seen from them in previous games. The last time that they showed it in VCT, of course, was the Toronto Grand Final. But improvements have been made. It is their permaban, but at the same time, quietly in the background,
careful.
It's kind of a requirement that they can, ooh, okay, show up here.
Yeah.
Nice shot from Grubby.
I think like this is still a map that you need to be very wary of. Sure, Fnatic haven't shown it, but like, what's the planning been in the background? What's the history like? Because I mean, at the end of the day, Fnatic have had really good showings, as said previously. A 13-1 against Team Heretics the last time that they played it.
I'm out of here.
Alpha with the Bucky. Ooh, could have been the face of something there, but for GX, it's confidently controlled second round to help bolster the bonus. And I agree, this map is always an interesting one, especially for Fnatic. It's unique in the sense, and I said it before, it was added 3 days after the grand final of Champs 2023, so you headed into that long off season, building towards kickoff, and yeah, they just never really gravitated towards it. The few times that we did see it for them last year and in a Champs environment, both 13-11 losses, very closely fought, but just not quite having that extra 10%. So any official reps here heading towards the business end of the year for them are positive. But for GX, it is the perfect start.
And for what it's worth, I actually do like Fnatic's composition and how they want to play the map. There's a lot of nice...
jumping on me like that.
There's a lot of nice set pieces that they tend to bring out. That being said, 4 players strong on that A side. It's just Kron to hold down B.
We're seeing GX immediately going for the jugular. It's Ara at the forefront, Bucky in his hands this time. The wall of the Neon hasn't quite cut across the sight line, but Kron playing from the opposite side of it means that he's not in a position to challenge right now. GX free roaming onto this site and mowing down Fnatic where they stand, put into an early grave.
And Fnatic trying to flood back in.
Into the post, GX already taken up position. Ara up close with the Bucky in hand. And making sure Fnatic know it. Do not want to step in, or there will be trouble. Bodyguarding the rest, the slow retreat says it all. GX with their bonus.
It's a great way to break down the B site. The fact that Fnatic tried to flood in, right? You see Kayak trying to support Chronicle, trying to see if they can catch players off guard, but Fnatic, I don't even think they'll be allowed to leave. There's so many bodies being sent their way. Crashes trying to get close to Boaster. Instead, Spike will detonate. Giant X will get the third. And Fnatic allowed to keep those 2 rifles.
Yeah, and in comparison to Fnatic, there's plenty of tape on how GX want to play this map, both attack and defender's side. And from their attacking rounds, yeah, there is that level of directness that you have from them, but even the choice to go straight to market there, for me, is crazy, right? Because usually that's an area that's guarded with plenty of center utility, and here, 2 players who are the anchors on either side in a pretty key matchup.
Yeah, and I think for me, these 2 players are going to be very important as we move through the map because they are your site anchors and both the Cypher players. Come back to that conversation in a minute as we find ourselves in an A brawl, which Giant X have won out already in the entry pick.
Ooh, nice shot from Crashies on the fadeaway though. Keeps things interesting. Boaster wants this gun and he's gonna get it. Fnatic have made moves in middle at the same time. And be looking with having Kron's cam and B main at the same time. Have plenty of information on what this execution should look like.
The doubt about Giant X, they want to go and try and re-clear mid, but Ara identified by destroying the dart. Obviously, they don't know it's him exactly, but they know there's a player there.
It's a gear shift, a freeze from GX. That top mid trap broken. Fnatic still remaining resolute in their positions. Partnering up 2 and 2. Moving away from the B site that GX are closing in on.
That is true.
I'm out of here.
For Fnatic, 20 seconds remaining. Alfie is here and he does have that rifle in hand. Chance to drop out of a smoke, find a player or 2. Chronicle at the back of site gets caught off guard, but perhaps a red herring as Alfea's not considered. Players all lit up, but it's Giant X lighting up Fnatic, sending them back to the spawn.
And even with a couple of the rifles, the Fnatic players were able to recover there. Not too much trouble for GX to convert. We're looking at this first pick onto Kayak being fairly straightforward one for Ara. His entries up until this point have been electric.
If I'm staying on B main all the time, I was gonna be in the round.
And yeah, perhaps just a bit of frustration there on the Fnatic side that, you know, we said before that they'd made the right reads and maybe hadn't fully committed to them. Here, it's a little bit more of the same and another early timeout.
I think when you go 4 in a row, you can expect that, right? Next round up, rifle round, where you can get immediate impact off the back of a timeout.
First ultimate of the game also coming into play, Flickless with the Rolling Thunder on GX. I mean, we've seen a real regression in terms of Breach pick rate on this map in general. It was one of the first agents that we really saw, right? Just so key in taking the early A main space on the defender side specifically with the fault line. But when you have a stun on your Neon player as well, that's kind of what Fnatic have attempted to do in filling the gap here, right? And that you want to be able to just quickly release that and respond with the same kind of aggression, but mobility all the same. A very important one here if Fnatic's defender's side, in which the majority of those rounds in that 13-1 drubbing that you mentioned were picked up on.
5 players for Giant X looking to brute force their way on a Fnatic priority placed on towards elbow. Kayak looking to maybe just play a little bit far forward, but leaves Boaster all alone, and caught out he is. Entry found, Spike ready to go down.
Strong positioning for GX. They like to get a little more aggressive and take the extra space where needed, but they can contain Fnatic from here. There's also a trap towards short, which will make things even more difficult.
Kayak's found a little gap to work with, as well as Alfier supporting him. An advantage in numbers for Fnatic to work with. On towards the spike they can possibly go, but Northwest side can deny, as well as Cloud. Up in a 1 versus 1 against Chronicle, and 1 bullet would be enough to wipe out the pole. Giant X holding out hope for a 5th, and Fnatic looking to try and grab the 1st. Time ticking away. Chronicle needs to get a move on, but Westside just crouched in the corner. 1's out the round for Giant X.
We do get that big exchange between 2 of the top performing players on either side, but Westside wins it in effect by doing absolutely nothing. The head on his shoulders more than capable of a reposition, which left Chronicle with no options so late into the round. Retake attempt from Fnatic showed all the right signs in terms of the play off of one another. But already a player down in the early stages makes it that much more difficult to turn on its head.
Looks like it's a mid. It's going to be the stage for the next fight. Fnatic actually too slow to try and get out of market. Allows themselves to get picked up, but Kayak with a rifle in hand, playing from Petra.
Actually going to follow this up as the footsteps fade away. Kayak closing in.
Oh, sees the head. Does a decent bit of damage, but takes loads himself. Towards B site they go. Giant X have the numbers to just overpower this site.
Ara low HP, but the Outlaw has the cross.
And that it does. Coaster, the player to do it right here. Right now, denied it. And GX completely wipe out any players left in market. 6 rounds in a row.
A huge turnaround from the former UCAM duo as well. In that situation where Fnatic had players closer to the site, good work from Kayak to kick things off. Even then, it just feels like right now, there is no savior, no hero for them. Because if you look at the score sheet when it comes back up, everyone is sat just below par, but there is no standout, no star, and maybe the system just not enabling it in terms of how the rounds have been played. Kayak finally bringing the off out, but Ara's chasing down a completely different lane.
Oh, and Boaster not even looking. Grabinho's so deep in behind enemy lines. GX have so much space to work with.
It's that grubby double TP, the vintage move that he's made so many times. Kayak, the one player to get rooted out, but there are 4 players pushing him.
Yeah, but he has a TP to get out if he really wants to use it, and that's exactly what he opts for. Hunter's Fury fires its last bolt, and that allows the spike to go down.
4 versus 3 situation. Fnatic back in with numbers, but the health pool is barren. This Phantom from Ara could cut through them like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, and it's the ultimate that actually pushes the players away, but it Hara steps up at the right time. Kayak shouting exactly where the Neon player is going. And well, he's going to be able to get more, but Fnatic out of nowhere get a double kill and get the first round.
Converting their advantage, something that they had struggle to create in a lot of these rounds, but Kayak does brilliantly well. Getting out of dodge with the TP, Kron moving one closer to the neural theft, the reason for him defusing. And yeah, it's just how quickly GX are beginning some of these rounds make it really difficult for Fnatic. When they drop back to deeper positions, play a little more passive, all the while Kayak holding on to elbow, it definitely helps. And it's also where you're seeing the value of Grubby when he wants to be so quick. He knows that the support is there.
Remember, this match has implications elsewhere. As BBL watch on to see if it's going to be one of the first teams to be knocked out.
And Liquid as well, of course. They will also qualify. Heretics able to do so perhaps on their own terms.
Yeah.
Go, go, go! Shock it!
Straight towards the B site is the next port of call for Giant X, but Kron not identified. Back of sight gets caught out. Alfia at least managing to take a time in, so Fnatic can take a moment, wait for Kayak to get into position. Spike committed late.
Does end up going down. Oh, I thought so actually. Flickless drops off. It wants to go for this aggressive move.
Oh, and towards CT they go, yeah, sure! But Kayak's there! Crashes as well! As Fnatic are beginning to wake up!
2 from 2 for Fnatic now, but yeah, Flickless getting caught there. It feels frustrating, but you understand the rationale behind it. Thought there was a little more time on the smoke. Wanted to cater this post-plant towards Boba. 2 quick shots from Kayak completely removed the possibility in the last one. Utter filth.
With that being said, it seems as if the Fnatic fans have found their voice as well. A bye not looking too great for the Spanish attack.
Ara is immediately into Ivy through short, and it's Westside that finds the shot on the revealed crashes through the side of the Radianite box. Kayak still playing a little bit deeper here. Move made by Alpha in the meantime, but it is all Kayak in these rounds. Careful. He plays best when you push him, and as the op back on the line, has to be a little cautious. Doesn't expose himself as he whips around the corner with the Rolling Thunder thrown back in. GX again forcing the issue. Yeah, but buying themselves time in the process.
Are they trying to force it too much? That's the question. Are they leaving themselves a little bit underpowered? I mean, on the site, it's just falling apart. As Alfia clears everyone out. That makes it the third for Fnatic in a row.
Yeah, we waited a while to see the Alfia Neon, but we know he has the capability. His agent pool so wide. I remember actually, it was back in Copenhagen 2022. We met up with him at the Fnatic Cafe with everyone else, and the one question we asked was, what's the one agent that you want to play the most? And he always said, I want the Neon. Back, even when Durka was back in the side, that he wanted to give it a go. And in this 1-2 punch, this left-right good night from him and Kayak, it's starting to respond, and that's a problem. GX, their first time out, and coming much earlier than it did on Lotus.
There it did. And for Pipson, a lot calmer than what we've seen him through. I mean, the fact that they're ahead, it's about capitalising on this advantage that they currently have. But it's also allowing a chance for Milan to review how things have been going. Sure, the past 3 rounds have been successful. There's always a possibility that this can still end up in a 9-3 half.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll be interested to see coming out of the timeout where Kayak wants to position this op next and what that adaptation looks like on GX on the opposite side, how they want to approach this, what they're expecting. Because for the most part, we've seen Chronicle playing his setup on B, and the question is, do you want to then maybe double layer it, see if GX can get caught off that way?
This goes here.
Speaking of the Breach, seems to have a favorable win rate against
This should do.
a non-mirror. So when Breach isn't in play, as is the case on Fnatic's side, and yeah, that is what we get. It's the Cypher util more towards B, but Fnatic slotting into main.
But the duelists looking to make their approach, be aggressive. And getting value off the back of it. This is big information for the defense.
Such an early clear. The question being, does Alpha go past the trap? He does. It's broken now, and Chronicle's just dropping off. Ooh, doesn't want to overstay his welcome and fight it, but Westside finds it regardless. Now Alpha, a little more trouble.
Yeah, and
But safety to be found in main.
And that's the big point, right? Now Fnatic have a little bit of space to work with. Giant X get the back of sight. That's where the spike's going to go down, but Fnatic make their approach from there. And Cloud in mid can do a big job.
He's only going to get one. Feels like about the status quo in that situation as Fnatic is still floating around on this patch of land they've been able to recover on the B site. Alpha flashed in by Kayak, but takes a second step, a second guess. Kayak needing the shot, missing, still surviving.
I know exactly.
But put on watch, and with the hat off Westside's head, it should confirm that he is walking away from this round empty-handed. GX up to a 7th now,
Careful now.
getting themselves back on track post-timeout.
Yeah, confirming that advantage. Moving into the next couple rounds. That being said, Fnatic did have the economy probably to give that one a go, perhaps.
It's also an op though, so I think you're just happy to save that residual at this point in time. In terms of the macro though from Fnatic and how they're setting up players on the map, it does look like an improvement, knowing where their win conditions lie, completely repurposing B main for themselves, and Kron knowing that he has to drop off, but even then the kill from Westside is absolutely huge in changing the dynamic of the round. It's been passed over to Alpha here, actually, as he's watching on to mid.
Still though, an important round as Alpha tries to play in front of the smoke. Drone to help him. A player broke the dart for him, but it's Kayak. Mid, completely cleared out. My point here is Fnatic or GX able to win this. This is a big swing round.
But look at the quick reposition from Alpha though. He's immediately on the line from market, looking down to tiles, and that's where Fnatic now want to make further moves towards A, or so you'd feel. Kayak also repositioning in the process, as are GX. They've left behind Westside in mid, and this is going to move into a B execution with 2 traps on Chronicle's right-hand side, where Arrow will be looking to very quickly run through his own fast lane, you expect.
Cypher utility, an operator trained to main. Giant X need to be careful. And then they go through Alpha with no line of sight because of the paranoia. And Ara changing his approach, but Kron doesn't look and gets caught off guard. Giant X look to hit 8 as Fnatic cannot stop this attack.
GX at the races. Ara's opened things up again. Westside is condemned in his position here, but only if Fnatic can clear him out.
Big F, because he's doing so well to just hide away from Kayak's Vandal. Crashy's now called in to support. They need to try and find this Cypher, but they're taking their time doing it. And that's going to play into a Giant X favour. Taking so long, finally Kayak gets rid of them, and now the line of sight put towards sight. And with that being said, in utility and delay, this looks like this is a failed attempt. Fnatic throw in the white towel, and Giant X will hit 8.
Yeah, it's all wrapped up. Kayak wants to give it one more go, but will lose the rifle for his efforts. Alpha's still holding on to the op, out of range of the spike's detonation, but 8 rounds secured on the attack for GX. They've come out of the block swinging. Ara's pathing on site is fantastic, but there's just no one looking for it, and Chronicle stumped in that position. So quickly able to pull the wool over their eyes. It's just lightning fast how these rounds are changing completely, when it felt like Fnatic had the right setup at the start there too.
Yeah, I agree. And post-timeout, GX have won every round, stopped Fnatic's onslaught.
There are a couple of ways that you can play against this directness. Either you combat it with some more aggression of your own, which you've not quite seen. Kayak could be the first semblance of that resistance, and we will get it. Double kill to kick things off.
Big solo play. Giving away nothing to the attack, but it seems as if there's a decision made. That Spike's heading quickly towards B, where it would be a 1 versus 1 on Chronicle, of all players.
It does definitely feel like more of a retake setup, or at least one which allows Fnatic to flood towards backside. Alpha still watching overplay in middle from tiles. Westside emerges into the light. That's exactly where he will go. Sent to the heavens. Still GX playing to divide and conquer the two remaining players. It's not like they can get to one another quickly. Kayak, or Alpha has hit the shot here. Bringing Cloud down to 3, and Dimensional Drift invested just for good measure. Spike's going to go down on the other side of the map in the meantime, while all of this is happening.
Player standing.
Cloud getting 1, meaning Flickless has 4 targets to get past if GX are to secure the 9-3.
Nearly a full belt of utility. He does have 1 less flash than what he would want, but hey, 4 players coming up to him. He's basically going to have to just hope for the best.
Flashed in the face. He pauses on the trigger. Flickless first. 2 straight through. 3 in the end. But Fnatic reaching their 4th at long last. It took a while to find the antidote to GX's aggression. But that's exactly what the Doctor ordered. A foundation for this attack as the side swap will come through. Just about hitting the baseline.
Fnatic by themselves, a lifeline to move into the second half. Giant X though could finish this out on 2 if they're able to have a successful defense. We'll find that out though after the break.
Last player standing.
Your body knows. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
Fnatic staring at the bleak possibility of an early exit here by their standards as GX are gearing up for a 2-0, and the face of this resistance, of this revision of the roster is Cloud, the one who has stuck through it all since the last time we saw them at a Champions event, and having replaced Redgar as the in-game leader at the second stage of last year. The story with him was transitioning from a star player to someone who can call and become a leader, and I think that's where he's really excelled. Even the stats, I think, not necessarily too bad, right, for an in-game leader, not doing him a disservice. He's done a pretty good job so far, and I don't think with this team the issue was ever the overall calling, just those small moments where things can go wrong, and Fnatic are hoping there's plenty more of those on the horizon if this series is to find its way to Corrode.
We are a long way away from Corrode at the minute though, as Fnatic begin their attack towards the B side. 4 players strong, Chronicle left is the back line. Ready to hit in straight away. This is probably the fastest we've ever seen Fnatic actually go for an execute, as Kayak goes to backside, but GX battle weight every combatant in their area. That spike can be attempted at least.
It's because the trap wasn't broken at the very start. Crashes has a little bit of space, but Fnatic want to find a duel here.
And they need to find picks as well. They need to find some semblance of safety, but they're not getting it at all. Unless Boaster's able to do it. There's also a flank, and players forced out of position. But it'll have to be the captain, the leader of Fnatic to do it. But he won't. GX almost confirming double digits.
A lot of rounds you'll see Grubby floating around outside A, and he closes the net there in the end. GX were ready for the B-pop with the util that they had in place. The slight missed shot, not able to take it off, and yeah, I think that ultimately makes the difference. They lose Alpha early at the start. Just helps consolidate this backside control. From that point on, GX pulling pistols out of nowhere. Now, that's 2 for 2 on this map, when they only picked up 1 in the entirety of the series against Liquid, 1 from 6.
Yeah. It's not looking good whatsoever. Oh. It's Fleckless though, makes it look easy. Alpha trying to slide his way. He'll be sliding back to spawn as he continues on his Sheriff rampage. And the spike stuck so deep towards Ivy.
Because Fnatic didn't get the plant in the previous round, it's not really a force. Kayak has a Sheriff and it's a nice shot, but you're not really expecting too much more here. Play is split up for the time being. So a regroup, a collection of the orb. The main issue, there's just not too many rounds left to play with here for Fnatic. They've got to figure out what the end game looks like for them. Taking it one step at a time to build themselves back in. If they can get the spike down on B here, then it would be a silver lining.
Yeah, but sure it's a silver lining. Still so much to get done in this match. Spike will go down, and it looks as if Ara is waiting for his teammates before he makes his approach towards the site.
Fnatic already 1 foot in the grave. GX looking to bury them, and on the anti-eco, it is as simple as that in the retake. No resistance from Fnatic there, defuse coming all the way in, and now with GX on 10, they're in a prime position to start closing out Sunset.
And a strong bonus round to come up.
Nice, guys. Good job. Nice, guys.
Fnatic have looked a shadow of their self probably since that Team Liquid game, you could say. Sure, there's been problems here or there, but they have been, all their weaknesses have been identified through this stage 2.
Standing ahead.
You get cleaned up with the shortest round in the stage, then it tends to do that to you. And here's another contender. Arrow down middle, instantaneously 2 taken. Fnatic forced into an uncomfortable reaction as they're immediately setting their sights towards A. This is the rifle round. This is the buy. The last chance, maybe, to stave off GX from having an easy road to victory. Robusta wins his. And that's a little bit more calmness now created, I say that.
Crashes identifies the flank as well, at least. So Fnatic have a good picture of how this round looks, but as GX come back in, that spike's not allowed to be planted.
Still fighting, still on the front lines. The in-game leader and catching Ara as he whips across the screen. Rubinho still closing the distance. A shot has to be considered here by Fnatic and is. Smoke placed. Rooster inside it, stepping out, but Grubby catches him, and it has to be Crashies now.
Does have one shot, but it's the info dart that's important, and that comes up in 5 seconds.
He will be given the time to bring back online. It's the shock first to just create a little bit of damage on the area of effect, and the recon to follow it up has to land, but immediately broken. Panic setting in for Crashies. The peak has to come through at some point, and when it does, it's absolutely wonderful for Crashies.
A little smirk and a Red Bull clutch. That's massive for Fnatic's chances in this map. Never mind this series, we won't start to look that far ahead just yet.
That's next level. You talk about him.
That's the one, lifeline, lifeline! Lifeline from Austin Roberts.
And so it is AR in the RGA who has stepped up.
Fnatic queuing up outside of A main. Grubby with the paranoia to try and disengage, but there's players getting interested. Grubby the most as he finds Albia.
Fnatic still trying to fight this though, and Kayak has got one back. Now, need to escalate things a little bit. Full drop back to site and focus on short for GX.
My ult is ready.
It's only the fake, posted up high, Kron down low, and he's the one that actually gets the picks and opens up this A site. Spike can go down. The last two players have to come from that B site.
About the timing, Cage giving away the audio.
Watch out! This way! Gotta go! Last player standing.
Kayak and Kron finish it out.
There they do. Fnatic with 6 rounds now, difference of 4, winding their sails. And off the back of that clutch, looking to course correct. Now put in position of power.
One enemy remaining.
Ushered onwards by those in the audience. GX going to be on a low buy, and all of a sudden, this gap looks to only be a couple of rounds when you think of the investments.
I mean, that's the big aspect to it, right? That gap now starts to get a little bit easier to try and close. For every rifle round you win, it goes back to a Thrifty. Rolling Thunder and Flickless's back pocket. Should there be an opportunity to try and win this round? But Fnatic have met some resistance on the A side, so they're going to try and move elsewhere.
Although GX do love to go for their set pieces on defense, so perhaps saved a little later on here. It's just trying to create something. Cloud already getting one with the Sheriff, but Kayak quick to close the gap.
The last 3 remaining players nowhere near the B circumference, right? They tried to make their way through market, but Boaster up to the task.
Fnatic getting over the hump in some style. It all comes from Crashies, finding that clutch, that double. It's a little bit more confidence, an individual taking their chance in the limelight, leading the headlines, and GX on the other side of the server, fading away in the stage of the game where they can eliminate one of the previous stage's grand finalists. Hell, a Toronto grand finalist.
And where have we seen this before, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. It gets to crunch time. Giant X seems to be fading away, 1 round away from winning out against Team Liquid.
And the Heretics game, even from the previous stage, you think in the groups and how that one looked. Going for now, that piece from the playbook we were talking about, it's the Hunter's Fury in, and Fnatic caught sleeping to it. Dropped back in effect, trades through 3-on-3, huge duel, Grubby caught in middle, but West side to support.
When out, they're trying to rush towards the A site. Look at Cloud, in towards Elbow, and that's what Fnatic need to find. That IGL, and he's hiding. He's able to survive just a bit longer.
Thinking about dropping back down to the drone. Fnatic still fighting.
Enemy remaining.
As it comes onto West side's plate, he cleans it up. Comfortable enough in the end. Just 2 away now, GX. Familiarity to finding themselves in these sorts of positions, but if you're to go from Dark Horse to Champions Contender, it's in moments like these, and it's a brilliant call to set up the round, which they eventually convert.
Fnatic now look to bring out their timeout, the last of this map and perhaps the last of this series, considering what Giant X have been able to do. They do have a bye in the next round, they do have ultimates to use, so there is perhaps contingencies being thought up for the attack.
There have been points in the game where it's felt like momentum has sat with Fnatic, but still the bigger picture is they've been on the ropes the majority of the time. Taking a wider look at this series, and now this has to be the watershed moment if they're going to keep themselves in it. Otherwise, it's GX all the way to the bank and to a lower bracket semi-final potentially, which will stop further qualifications from taking place today. I'm sure members in the audience won't be too happy about that one. those Liquid or BBL inclined, but Fnatic have the tools, and that is what they'll be looking at building with here. 4 ults. Flies in the face of Flickless, soul rolling thunder. Because the investments were made in the previous round.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Well, 2 rounds is all Giant X need. An operator on Ara through mid is where he makes his appraisal. Let's go Alpha Years here and caught out by Grabinho. They're happy with what they've found and they'll dip away.
It's a huge opening peak. Forces Fnatic to reconsider perhaps what that initial call might have been coming out of the 60-second intermission. They've left Kron towards B, a site which they've rarely attempted in the rounds that we've seen gone by. It's all been about this Age-All, and that's why we've seen the shift of the setup from West Side in anticipation of another push here, which is looking all the more likely. I think the scariest part for me is Boaster has his ult and the spike, so if we're talking Fnatic running the clock down here, it could get very messy.
Yeah.
Who's next?
It wouldn't surprise me. We saw something similar on Haven the other day as well from Fnatic. It seems if we are going to reach Fnatic time indeed, as we are in towards the last 35 seconds.
Players.
Kayak identifying every single one, and Boaster tapping the spike. Kayak getting the spam, bringing us somewhat into an equilibrium. Hunter's Fury invested as well. Fnatic still slow rolling the round, and Crashy's even getting the advantage.
But it's only a 4-on-4 and the spike is still not down.
No, it's not. It's getting too close for comfort. Fnatic finally attempt to get that spike down, but Cloud with a chance to maybe deny. Instead, it's Flickless's aftershock. A 2 versus 1 is where it settles, with both Fnatic players on short.
Flickless has been so good in these positions before, and the plant is not ideal for Fnatic.
It's not. Flash in pocket, but there is 2 shocks that Crashes can work with. First flash in. Flickless identifies Kayak and gets the kill. A 1 versus 1 to push GX on towards map point. It seems to be that player that clutched up before. Crashes that wins for Fnatic.
Just keeps them going. And as we said, coming back to internationals, being on the big stage for the first time in a couple of years, even domestically, you're seeing the best of him. This ult's so important in giving a release to set Fnatic up, and even the aftershock there makes the swing a little difficult. Can't deny the spike.
He don't want to lose. We don't want to lose.
Booster in song, so yeah, maybe everything is all right on their side of the server.
1 round at a time. That's all it takes. Kayak doesn't get stunned up, identifies Grubby, but can't quite get the kill he was looking for. The angle either. And Fnatic were already making their moves through mid.
He's going to take this fight, you know it. Kron, angle, he sprays away, finds nothing. Fnatic into the site with Clouds. Bucky waiting at the door, and from the newsstand, he delivers them. The thought that GX might just be in it to win it here unless they can turn it around, and it's Crashes again.
If there's any team to try and turn it around, it would be Fnatic, but they're positioned towards CT, and Giant X are circling the site.
Look at Boaster, up in his own smoke. Flick, the only one on the other side here. The remaining players towards Market and Main. This is the one avenue that Fnatic can look to force the issue, and when they do, it's Grubby to catch the coattails on the back line. He will bolster this defender's side for Giant X as 12 rounds will be reached. We said that Fnatic were on the ropes, but even when you see those signs that they might be coming back into the game, reality quickly hits you in the face again.
Yeah. Boaster was singing about how he doesn't want to lose, but he might not have any other option. Giant X have ideas about making it to champs, about making it all the way through this lower bracket run. And you look at Fnatic's buy, it's not looking complimentary at all. It's not looking to give any of the Fnatic fans hope. Maybe Alfier's overdrive.
Deep breath.
And it seems as if there's a set play on A main for the defense.
Fnatic very much thrown to the wolves, but with their backs against the wall, so many times we've seen them in that position. I don't think any fake out is safe in 2025, so dealt with early doors.
Here.
Chronicle embedding himself just to the side of top mid.
I'm out of here.
Fnatic are really waiting for that GX proactivity. You're expecting something to happen, and it will come in the form of an Al drone B main.
The simplest of defaults. One player towards either extremity and 3 in mid. Fnatic will get utility thrown in their face, but nothing in terms of engagements just yet.
Aftershock breaks their own trap wire as Chronicle was just searching to see if there was one place top mid, but Cypher utility is on the B site. A cam now placed by West side as well, and numbers continuing to congregate on this left-hand side, but Fnatic willing to play into it, it seems. Too much ground to be covered on A.
30 seconds left.
This is the execution, and Giant X are waiting with the guillotine to pull the rope on Fnatic's head.
On West side setup is ready, primed. Alpha trying to clear backside, has information through the Sova, and Kayak to support!
10 seconds
Fnatic
left.
keep themselves alive a bit longer. And the approach from Giant X is disconnected.
Plant in with seconds to spare. GX still going to give this a go, though.
Flickless from CT, Grobby from Market. Taking their time to clear the angles, make sure not to get caught off guard. And when they do make their approach, Fnatic pounds. The barrel being seen by Flickless. He's trying to grab, crashes, and even nearly gets a headshot. In fact, does. Players are low here. This is doable for Flickless, but with the time ticking away, you can't help but feel this is all but a Fnatic round. You're just waiting for the confirmation, and there it is. We're within 3.
Like I said, GX had the blade ready, but it doesn't drop on the head of our kings of EMEA. There will be no regicide just yet. 3 rounds between them and 3 more opportunities for Fnatic. GX still have one more timeout, I believe, but confidence in the calls. Pipson stressed it. This won't be a huge opportunity for them to break the balance. You're expecting Fnatic to take 10. Bearing a West Side miracle.
We've seen it before. Do not count them out. Kayak close to TP away. So with that being said, Giant X win the B main fight, keep that control for themselves, and also get an orb and push Fnatic through mid, where Kron is extremely deep.
Fnatic find something that works for them on the attack. They like to work that space continually. It's why you're seeing Chronicle sat in the same position he was on the previous round, trying to understand the rotations through the footsteps of GX as well. Drone from Crashy's not quite going to tag Grubby, but it's forced him to dip into his pockets. Paranoia used and an intelligent clear from Kayak. And with Flickless removed, it is the B split we were anticipating.
There's a time in for the players in top mid, but Poster wins it out. And Fnatic in prime position to win this round.
West side though. There's the burst. Needs another, but it blazes over the head of Kayak. And Fnatic have just about squeezed between the goalposts on this one. Poster is going to fall, and Grubby will continue to ply his trade in main, but it's not going to suffice. And honestly, as easy as it can be at times to dunk on Boaster, he's had a couple of rounds now where he's finding impactful kills to keep Fnatic afloat. You also have to say the same for Kayak. They rely on his entries the same way that GX did with Ara, and now having the dimensional drift online, it's such a big piece in these final couple rounds.
Something that Fnatic have not been able to do at all is unlock this A main position. Grubby has done well to hold on, and he's got support in the breach of Flickless and the neon of Ara. The fake out being used to take this A side, and it's a very quick read to try and bolster the B side.
It has been completely conditioned at this point in time, and with the knowledge that GX do have that Hunter's Fury piece. They like to try and rip into this same space. There's some mutual respect shown on either side to any kind of early challenge in Garage. Fnatic have been doing very well to take control of B main as the round drags on, though, and that's where they'll look to plant their feet. I think we can expect another split to come through here.
Crossfire. Top mid. Flickless Inara. The combination that we've seen so many times. Look at the positions. They don't really want to take the duels top mid. They're allowing Fnatic to scale off the back of it. Ara forced back. Cloud there to support. He's found the Neon. And the players on site. Kayak gets an equilibrium. Gets something back. Chaos on the site. And Spike still to go down.
3-2, Spike just going in, bullets whizzing over the head of Crashes, but from main it's Grabinho. The crunch coming in, it has to be Chronicle now.
A 1 versus 3 that he can't win. And it'll be Giant X to knock Fnatic out in a 2-0 fashion.
And many would not believe their eyes had they seen this result coming into the playoffs, but with Fnatic having already established themselves in champs, experiments were made and lessons learned, hopefully, for them. The Kings of EMEA have been toppled, and if they want to find themselves in first place for the first time at the end of the year, then it does rely on those improvements taking place.